Thank you for tuning in. Let's take a look back at episode 1 and 2 of the unboxing review videos of the 1990 Marvel Superheroes by ToyBiz. In late 1990, ToyBiz launched the Marvel Superheroes toy line, setting kids up to throw away their broken Justice League and hoping that on Christmas morning they'd be able to assemble the Avengers.
Assemble.
They greatly improved upon what they did with the DC figures. The packaging, the introduction, the presentation. This is beautiful. You've got this compared to that. They look incredible. Like I said previously, there must have been somebody at ToyBiz who hated DC Comics. I think Captain America is the best one. I'm having so much fun with these figures. I'm just gonna unbox and review Thor and the Green Goblin. I've got Iron Man. He's pretty beat up. He's pretty loose. But at least now after I unbox Thor, I'll have a nice core group of the Avengers. Thor and the Green Goblin were both released in 1991 for the Series 2 of the Marvel Superheroes by ToyBiz. We also got Iron Man, another Punisher, 2 Spider-Men, web climbing and web shooting, and Venom. They used the same style of graphics and art on the front as they used in Series 1. And on the back, same great style as Series 1. They're showcasing the figure that you just bought. They got pictures of vehicles, playsets, and costume accessories that you can collect. But sadly, and oddly, they don't have any pictures of the individual characters, figures that you can collect. And they've got this toll-free customer service number at the very top. I wish they would have had this when they released the DC figures. Starting with Thor at the very top. The packaging looks amazing. And the art, I think it's gotten a bit of an upgrade. The figure on the side, he looks good, he looks great with all his accessories and with smashing hammer action. And on the back, you've got a simulation of Thor throwing his hammer and all the vehicles, the playsets, and the costume accessories that you can collect. And this isn't just a small explanation of who Thor is, it also explains how to use his action. Next up is Green Goblin in the packaging. The art looks fantastic, except for the figure. There's something up with that face and one of the arms looks a little loose. Now on the back, the prototype figure of Green Goblin looks a lot better than what we actually got on retail. And then same thing as Thor, we got all the other stuff you could collect. And the small little bio explains also how to use his action. So enough talk, let's unbox these guys. Now the blue on his chest has been scraping off onto the inside of the shell. Now that won't matter in just a few seconds. Boom. And he came with a 50% off Marvel Comics subscriptions. During this time, Marvel Comics was not doing so good financially. Heck, just a little bit later, they got bought out by ToyBiz. Before I switch over and unbox Green Goblin, I just want to point out that the tape that's been holding the accessories in has yellowed and has left this slimy film on the accessories. And here's Green Goblin, and see that? That's what I'm talking about. His arm already looks a bit loose. Hopefully he's not broken. But this is ToyBiz, and they were known to do that for the DC figures, not for the Marvel figures. So let's check it out. That tape does not have that awful film on it. And here they are out of the package. The reason he's sitting is because I've been trying for 5 minutes to get him to stand. And like every villain, he just won't listen. Let's smell him. He smells like nothing. Green Goblin smells really good. Very nice new toy smell. Thor's hammer. I'm sorry, but it's pretty crappy. This is the way it came out of the box, and I've tried bending it how it should be, and then it just goes back to being all crooked. Silver paint is already coming off. I don't even think I've even touched this area. Quality control on this, I guess they were on break. And then the lightning bolt. It's a stick. And now taking a look at Thor all by himself, I gotta be honest, he doesn't look as cool as any of the first three that I unboxed, especially Captain America. There's a lot of expression on his face. I can say that looks really, really good. But his head is a little bit too small for his body. His body, it just doesn't scream superhero. I guess with his hammer, he looks... On the card, he's shown with the hammer, holding the lightning bolt, and with this badass long red cape. But this is not what we got. And just like that, he looks badass. They just needed to put on that cape, especially to hide that there was nothing back there. I am using my superpower Superman cape. Now we're going to see what he looks like with his thunderbolt, because the other hand doesn't have a way to hold on to the thunderbolt. It's more like a salute. And there's the thunderbolt. Let's get that hand out. But of course, this is not the way he came. Not as impressive. Not as impressive. Well, let's try out his action. Now on the back of the card, it says, simply raise Thor's right arm, insert the object in his hand, push in halfway, and release for throwing expertise. Oh. This action is not very good. Barely in. There we go. It's not halfway in. You gotta barely put it in there for him to throw it. But the hammer, it slides in nicely, whereas the thunderbolt, you have to squeeze it in there, and it's kind of hard to take out. Do your thing. Oh, but I kind of helped it there. So I got the Joker back out here because he's easier to stand. He's got articulation at the head, arms up and down, hips and knees for 7 points of articulation. There are small little details on this figure that raise the grade on him because he's about to fail here. That T right there on his belt for Thor, I think that's pretty cool. And although the rest of his body is okay, they still haven't managed to get rid of those rivets on the outside of the knees. And now here is the Green Goblin. And like this, he doesn't look that bad. But just wait till we take a closer look at him. That face sculpt is pretty nice. Unfortunately, the eyes look wonky because of that paint job. Paint job on his little hat also isn't that good. They painted a little bit of this ear, painted the inside of that ear, didn't paint enough right here below, like close to his forehead. There's pink from the strap right there. Then it looks like the brush was running out of color, and so the bag he's got right here on the side is not fully colored. Then there's more paint mishaps right there, and then the rivets on the side of his knees are starting to rust. Look at that. The sculpting on this figure is not that bad. It's pretty cool, especially with all the texture on his green parts and the way they molded his hands. That's pretty cool. And the face too. What I hate though is the way they sculpted his feet. He doesn't like to stand, and this took me quite a while just to get him to stand. All the texture on his shirt looks really nice. I think where they messed up really badly is just quality control. And then there's more paint mishaps right there at the hip. Now his left arm, even in the package, it looked like it was about to fall off. It's not supposed to have that type of articulation there. Let's check out his articulation. He's got articulation at the head. This arm, let's count it. He's got articulation. Articulation at his other arm, hips, and knees for 7 points of articulation. And check it out, we found another paint mishap right there. He's got more paint mishaps than points of articulation. Taking a look at his accessories, this pumpkin has a better paint job than he does. Here's a paint mishap right there. And then his glider. This is actually very simple, but very nice. It's also pretty flexible. And it has 2 tabs at the top so that he can plug in and fly away. And he actually looks pretty cool on his glider. Look at that. That looks really nice. Takes your eyes off of all the paint mishaps. In order to activate his throwing arm, you just simply put one of his pumpkin bombs, he only came with one, into his right hand. It stops there. Is this how I'm supposed to throw the pumpkin? He's leaning back. Yeah, it's kind of silly like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to push it up. Let's see if I break it. No, I didn't break it. Okay, let's see. That's a lot better. And here is my beat up Tony Stark / Iron Man. He is not in the best condition, but I do like that he looks like something off of Robin Hood. Of course, he looks better once you start putting the armor on him. And now, this Tony Stark into Iron Man looks pretty darn cool. But still, you've got those rivets on the side of those knees. But this is just a quick look at this guy. On my final analysis, I think ToyBiz, after the great failure that was the DC figures, they took 3 steps forward with the Marvel Series 1 figures, and then took 2 steps back. The one thing I can say that's better between the Series 2 Marvel figures and the DC figures is that at least none of the Marvel figures have broken on me out of the package. The paint quality, the quality control, it's missing many marks. Although the packaging looks wonderful, the execution of the actual figures is not so good. The action on the figures is not so good. The quality of the figures doesn't feel so good. Doesn't seem like a real good idea to put the customer service number on the back of each card. Or maybe ToyBiz thought that kids would have already tossed the packages in the trash. Overall, these Avengers are good. They're not great though. They are far from being superpowers. But they are also not as bad as the DC superheroes by ToyBiz. They've improved. They had a little bit of mishap. But we're gonna see that they're actually getting better and better. On the next review for the ToyBiz figures, I'm gonna be unboxing and reviewing Series 1 of the X-Men figures, Wolverine! I really do hope you enjoyed this, and I really appreciate your support. Don't send me any money. I don't have any Patreon. Just hit that like, hit that subscribe, and maybe share. If you can check out, maybe click this video, or maybe even click whatever that is right here. What is that? How did it get here? Bye!